What do students do when you don't tell them what to do? That's a real question. What do students do when you don't tell them what to do? Mr. Floyd was mean, always barking, yelling out commands, yelling, screaming at his classroom all the time. I think that man really was mean. He was naturally loud too. I swear his voice he didn't really have an inside voice. His voice probably got him thrown out a few libraries because I doubt he could bring it down. But he was always loud. I think he was ex-military. The problem is, students never connected with him. They didn't like him very much. Who wants to be yelled at and screamed at all day unless they sign up for the military? Our students didn't sign up for the military. But I remember Mr. Floyd saying, these are the rules and you will obey. These are the rules and you will obey. He would say that all the time. The only problem is, as I said, no one listened, no one obeyed. And he always was throwing kids out of his room. And they just happened to end up in my room. He started putting kids in my classroom all the time, like one student at a time at first, and then it'd be two. And then sometimes he started bringing like 3 kids at a time, and got to the point where parents started requesting that his students get the ones that he would always have in the back of my room. They were like, well, why can't my son just be in Mr. J's room? And you know, a lot of them wanted their kids to transfer to my classroom because they've been in there so much time. And you know, naturally, I told them, no way, that's not happening. But I did offer some help. I offered some assistance. I pulled up Mr. Floyd. I'm like, sir, let's have a talk. We need to work on your classroom rules. Your classroom management and classroom procedures, they were pretty bad, but the foundation was broken. The rules were broken. The way he addressed kids, that was broken. And that's what we had to start working on because I wasn't getting paid a bonus for keeping his students. So the strategy here is simple. You don't set rules by yelling and barking rules. You get buy-in for the rules. Here's a cool way that I've done it in the past. Sometimes I have a set of 10 rules. I mean, the rules are the same year to year. You know, they're simple, they're basic. But sometimes I have an idea about 10 rules. And what I do with those is I tell the kids, let's get in groups, let's create classroom rules. Inevitably, they almost always come up with the rules that you want in your classroom. Don't hit, raise your hand, use signals if you want to use the bathroom, need water or whatever. You know, simple things like that. The students know. They've been given rules many, many years throughout their life. Even the young kids, first graders can do it. I've never taught first grade, but I've seen it done. Second grade is one of my favorite grades, and they can do it. So kids are very intelligent. They're very capable of creating and being a part of the rule-making process, and they like it. So what you could do is put them in the groups. Like I said, let them come up with a set of 10 rules. Put the best rules on the board. See how many times the rules overlap, and then set your class list based on that. If you don't get the rule that you want, you could do something simple like say, well, I was thinking there should be a rule about maybe keeping your hands to yourself because I don't like people touching me, so I don't think y'all want to be touched. Something like that. Something simple like that, you can guide them through the rule process. If you need a rule for turning your homework in as soon as you get in class, you can have that set, add that to it. Something simple, say, kids, well, should we have a rule about homework? Should you be able to turn in homework at the end of the day, or when should homework be turned in? You can guide the process and still let them create the rules. You'll get way more buy-in like that. You'll get way more buy-in if you ask the kids, do you agree with this rule? Should we add this rule? Even if you write your own class rules and you have a set of 10, they should be short, they should be positive. I don't think you should have 50 rules. Who's going to remember that? Who's going to remember that? You wanted something short and sweet. To the point, basic rules to govern your classroom. We're not talking procedures, we're talking rules. Procedures can kind of come in there, but it's a whole nother thing. But set your rules, have the kids agree to them, have them sign off on it like it's a contract, have their parents sign it. Add some consequences to it, let the kids know, let their parents know. Then it's all agreed upon. If the parents sign and the students sign, that's your first day's worth of homework. Practice the rules. Go over the rules daily. Let the kids, remind the kids you signed off on this. You agreed to this. Or you created this. Let them know it's a part of their community. That's how they want their class to run when they're in your room. It's very important, getting buy-in. It's the same situation, but it's not someone forcing you to obey. No one wants to be yelled and screamed at and told to obey. But people do want discipline. They do want structure. Even little kids, aka little people, aka little human beings, children, students. They like discipline. They do not like being yelled at. They do not like being told to obey. Simple way of changing the mindset of the student, changing your mindset as a teacher, and being a facilitator of their educational process versus being a commander, a general, a lecturer. I don't know what Mr. Floyd thought he was. So think about it like that. You could even guide your students if you need to by giving them three categories for the rules. 3 simple categories. I think we should have rules based around safety, respect, and success. Those 3 things, and let the kids work their own list, create their magic. So at the end of the day, you'll have a magical set of procedure, classroom rules created by your students with your name on the top of it. It's very easy. So how do you build community? Do you put your foot down? Because that's a guaranteed way to get your foot stomped on. Or do you allow the students to be a part of the decision-making process of their classroom? What's the worst thing that would happen if your students were allowed to create classroom rules? What's the worst thing that could happen? Think about it. You could empower them. You could make them feel like they're a part of something. Or you could keep relying on that experienced teacher who has better classroom management. Because I'm just gonna tell you, experienced teachers, veteran teachers, we get tired of taking your kids. We don't get paid more. We get, we don't mind helping, but like, there's no bonus, there's no extra pay. So at some point, you gotta figure it out. Like Mr. Floyd, he figured it out. I heard eventually down the road, he finally figured out how to talk to kids and set rules and all that good stuff. I think he's a football coach now too. You would have to do your own research on that, but yeah. So teachers, share your stories, similar stories. Especially if your classroom was like a drop-in daycare like mine, where I had kids from, I was in a elementary, middle school, and I had pre-K kids to 8th graders in my room at all times. While I was teaching 2nd, 4th, 5th grade, I would always have the whole school in my room. So share your comments on Mr. Floyd's or the Mr. Floyd's you have seen and known throughout the years.